What's up YouTube, it's Cornish Ratbeard here and I hope that everyone is having a great day. So what do we have here then, Cornish? Well, this is actually a brand new total conversion mod for Stellaris, but even more important than that, it's Star Wars. Yep, you heard me correctly, and just to repeat, we have a brand new Star Wars total conversion mod for Stellaris. So this mod has been covered a little bit by another awesome YouTuber that I like to watch called Genesis King. But just in case you haven't seen his video, I will tell you a little bit about this mod now, and I will also link his video in the description because I've actually learned a little bit myself from watching his video. And he does show off the Sith Empire, which is going to be a little different to what we're showing off. Alright, so the mod itself is called Star Wars Legacy of the Old Republic, which is set in the Old Republic era around the time just before the Mandalorian Crusades. The team that created this mod also brought us the epic Star Wars The Fallen Republic, which by the way is still in development, and we will have a brand new update very soon, so stay tuned for that. Big shout out to the whole team behind the projects. In this mod, we can play as one of 48 different and unique empires within the Star Wars galaxy, which includes classics like the Mandalorians and even the Sith Empire. It comes with two different galaxy modes, one of which has a massive 1300 star system, and a smaller one which would be a lot less taxing on lower end PCs. In this video, we will be taking a look at the Mandalorians and we're going to see what they're all about. I'm going to be treating this as a one-off look based on their early game, and we will go through as much stuff as possible, but if it's something that you guys would like to see continued, then please let me know in the comments section below. Now, I love Star Wars, but I'm not as clued up as I am with my Star Trek lore, but I do know a little, and if you are not too sure on some history to the Mandalorians, then let me tell you that they were the people of Mandalore. The planet Mandalore was inhabited by a group of humans known to us as the Mandalorians, so just think like Boba Fett and of course the new Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. So during the period when the Old Republic ruled the galaxy, these super commandos were a martial people living in warrior clans. They had a strong sense of honor, but as we learn, some would later become mercenaries. Cough cough, we mean you, Boba. Now, back in the days, Mandalorians would actually fight the Jedi and raid their temples. During the fall of the Old Republic, they actually managed to seize Vizsla's darksaber. So our planet back in the Old Republic was a lush green planet, much like ours, but due to long conflicts and war, the planet was basically smashed into a barren desert. It would be interesting to see if the event kicks in and turns our planet into a barren one. Still, a great touch here getting the correct planet class. Love that. We have our very own ship sets, which I can show you a little of now actually. I took the liberty to unlock some of the later ships, so if you're impatient like me, then here we go, have a quick look at these beauties. Now here are the settings that we're going to use, and as you can see there are a few different things within these settings. The Mandalorian Crusade and the Return of the Sith are the two significantly important events to point out, in which we will be looking at and will occur during your playthrough. If you hover over them here, we can see some details about those specific events. The major trade routes also look really interesting, so can't wait to check some of those things out in game. I'm going to bump up the difficulty to Admiral to give you guys a kind of a start point on how difficult or easy this will be for us. So let's hit start and check out some of the loading screens. Now there are many of these really cool and detailed loading screens, and I personally love them all. I hope you guys do too, so do check them out. There is lots more for you to see. So before we take a look at the galaxy from afar, let's have a little read of this, shall we? So the Mandalorian clans. In the eons since the first primitive Mandalorian communities took shape in the meadows and forests of Mandalore, our civilization has spread and prospered. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlanes network, the finest minds of the Mandalorian space have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasps. So our ruler is here, and the traits are an explorer and a champion of the people. Ethics, we are authoritarians and we're fanatic militarists. Over here we are army of outcasts and we have a warrior culture. Here are some of the other traits as well over here, the standard ones. So okay, let's begin. Now look at the size of this galaxy, guys. I mean, honestly, it is huge and it is absolutely gorgeous. Many systems and new Star Wars empires to explore within this mod. They will of course be fleshing out the mod even more as the development continues. So now let's have a look at the resources here. I do love how they're laid out, and straight away I'm seeing a few different ones from the base game, but the main difference here is the use of manpower. Now, as some of you might be aware, I'm very familiar with the other brilliant mod Star Trek New Horizons, which uses a similar mechanic called officers, but it is a little different here. Now let me explain. As well as using manpower for your ships, like in Star Trek New Horizons, we will actually need to use them for a lot more. For example, just building outposts and mining stations will now cost us manpower, and if you think about that for a second, then it actually makes sense, right? But I think it's going to be a very, very important resource. Some of the other things include the volatile materials and the rare crystals, exotic gases, the starship fuel, and the heavy alloys. Over here we have the basic stuff as well with the Unity. After the Unity we have the dark matter, the heavy alloys, the isotope, the medical supplies, the spice, and the iridium. We have envoys as usual, the Empire population, this is our starbase capacity and our naval capacity. And the usuals across the top here is the energy, the minerals, the food, and the consumer goods. That all stays the same, as well as our alloys and influence. We have our research up there. Okay, so onto our technology, and let's have a little look at that, shall we, guys? So there will be lots of unique techs to research here, but many more will be added as development continues. But while we're here, let's go ahead and grab some techs. Research station output 10%, the early laser cannon, and the anomaly research speed at 25%. Considering we don't really have many research stations at the minute, I'm probably going to go for the anomaly research speed. That's probably going to help us out more than anything right now. Next one, monthly Unity or the scientist level cap, unlock starbase building, the hydroponics bay. I'll go for the Unity, mining station, sublight speed and evasion. Let's go for the mining station because we're going to get a few of those in there as well. So there are lots of empires that have unique storylines here, but we will check them out as we play and just see what happens in that department. So I guess I've shown you some of the basic stuff we want to see at the beginning. So let's just play it a little bit and find out what happens together then, shall we? Okay, so to start with, I'm going to want to take my science ship probably down here. That's, 3 different planets down there. I'm liking the look of that. Construction ship. Let's use a little bit of our manpower and build one of those mining stations. We have our fleet here. We don't have any leaders. Let's take a look at those. So here they are. You can see that they're different types of armor, different colors for all of those. I'm not sure that we need one right now. It's going to cost our Unity, which we don't have the most of. But let's have a look at some of the other ones. So technology. We can see here that we've got a research speed of 10%, a spark of genius, and they have different coloured armours representing that they're scientists, I guess. Looking down in the leaders tab here, we have our governor and generals, different colours as well, which is, it's a nice little touch. As for a governor, and we do have one right now, let's put one in charge. That's the one we have, and it's going to pretty much increase our food, so that's okay. Where's our capital? Our capital is there. We're going to have to push play in just a second, but for now, let's have a look in here. So we have 2 planets, okay? We have our Mandalore and we have Concordia. So there's probably not a lot we can do with them. everything does seem to be okay. There was a bit of crime and stuff, so I'm not going to bother building anything right now, but just in case you want to have a look, here's some of the buildings that are in this mod. You can see what's different and what's not there. So we're not going to build anything now. We don't really have the resources for it anyway. And here's Concordia. We don't actually have it right now, but it is ready to colonize. But so we do only have the one. I just can't see right now because I do need to push play because I put a governor in place. That's what's happened there. Traits and stuff we're going to look at as we get those. So let's just push play and see what happens next. There we go. We can see that our one planet has come back now. But within this system, you have those 2 planets and there's one over here as well. So this is red. We're going to have to work on terraforming that. Oh, and we have one over here as well. Mandalia. So that's a pretty cool one we can colonize as well. So we want to go to work on those as soon as we can. We want to get some colony ships and stuff. But I will warn you guys as well that I believe colony ships cost manpower as well, because obviously you're going to be using quite a lot of your population to move over to the new planets. So it's going to hinder you a little bit on the expansion. So if you're just into like quickly rushing around and grabbing systems as quick as you can, you're going to really need to want to bump that manpower up. And I hope it works well for the AI as well, especially in higher difficulties. I hope that they can't just, you know, expand rapidly and just snag all the decent systems before you can even get a look in, basically. I hope that they have to use the manpower and it isn't totally overpowered being a higher level. I'm sure it probably will be because that's the AI in their sheets. So we have our first anomaly here. We're going to research it. It's routine. Let's see what comes of it. Remember, I did say there are unique stories to most of the empires. So we're going to have a look at some of that. I probably will cut to the bits where we need to get to, so then I can show you a little bit more in one episode, if that makes sense. Right, so our first event has come up, and it's called Invasive Exofungus. After intense study and sampling of the growth blanketing entire biospheres on Besato 1, Davril reports that the substance is not native to the planet, but rather an invasive fungal lifeform of unknown origin. The fungus feeds on biomatter, choking out existing plant life and enveloping terrain. Any future settlers on the planet would have to deal with routinely burning back the exofungus. It is unknown at this point if it can be entirely eradicated. Worrying. So this is obviously what we've come across here straight away with our scientist. And speaking of, I'm probably going to get another one or 2. Let's get a couple of them. You know what, I might even go for 3 just because I want to get them out there and finding as many different events as possible and just get some things ticking along to see what type of events and cool things that we have in store for us. So the discovery of alien life. The Trickster has made a startling find. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Mandalore. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. We may not be alone out here. And you kind of get similar events in different mods and the base game telling you that, you know, there is other life out there. The Mandalorian space is abuzz with news of alien organisms. While far from intelligent, there is life out there. Intriguing indeed. So we have all of these science ships as well. And we have first contact protocols. So this is the same as any other mod or base game. It's basically telling us that we're going to probably want to send an envoy out to see those. Do we greet the Xeno with open arms? Is it wise to be cautious? And we must ward off those who would threaten us. I think it'd probably be wise to be cautious in this instance. And let's pop over to our situation log. It's not there right now, so how do we go about meeting those?
Achieved.
Have a look at that in just a second. Let me pause. We have a system that has been surveyed, and we have some unity, so let's have a look together what other research there is to do.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Resettlement, the naval capacity from soldiers, and food. We'll go with the food then, and we have another one here, droid output and droid upkeep, happiness, empire size from pops, and the energy. Let's go for the energy as well. And here's our first tradition, guys. So let's have a look. It's all laid out pretty much the same as any other mod or the base game. So let's select. And as you can see straight away, we have the warrior culture. Now this is probably the only one, just checking, that is different. So we have a unique tree to start with. That's pretty cool. And what does this do for us? Warrior culture. We are without a proper Mandalore. The clans are in disarray and we need to reunite and build. Okay, so we've got to rebuild them, guys. It unlocks the buildings, the Mandalorian recruitment center, and the Empire manpower production is increased by +5. Remember how important I said that manpower is? To rebuild, we're going to need manpower. So what is the finisher of this? Adopting all the warrior culture traditions will grant the following additional effects. Ascension perks, obviously you get one of those, and governing ethics attraction is +25%. So it's probably one you're going to want to do relatively soon. You're going to get alloys. What's going to happen here? Monthly unity as well, +10 straight away. That's great. And the edicts fund is +25. Unlocks a feature, the Mandalorian architecture. That's pretty cool. Ship experience gain and the starting experience. And we have the Legend of the Mythosaur, which does clear a lot of blockers a lot quicker. So it's a pretty decent tree. It's unique. Personally, I would probably go down the discovery route, because if this is the same type of tree as other mods and base games, then you're going to end up, with the finisher effect there, research speed +10, which is great. You're also going to be getting increased anomaly research speed and all the surveying and stuff like that. That's probably still my go-to one, but I'm going to go down the warrior culture one for this episode, just to, see what it's like, as it is unique. Okay, so I've recruited a few scientists, so let's get them out and having a look around. Let's go to that system and that one to that system, you to that system, and we have our other one going down here to this system. Ideal. So let's carry on. We've got the construction ship that needs to do a little bit of this and that. I don't think there's anything else for it to do there. We could come down and grab this system. It's going to cost us manpower to get that outpost and the alloys and influence, but let's do it. Let's expand as much as we can.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Okay, some more science done. I'm just going to pause it for a second. We have the mining station output +10. I want to show you all the science as we get it. We have the heavy alloy extractor, or the science ship alloy cost. Now this would have been handy earlier, so take note that there is going to be a pretty decent technology coming up which is going to help your science ships before you really thrash them out. And to be honest with you, the unity is quite hard to get at the beginning, and they cost 100 each. So each leader scientist costs 100 unity. So you're not going to get that many science ships out. So this one is going to be really, really good. So let's take that one anyway. Okay, so this is kind of like a little pop-up to let you know in which direction you should go. I don't know if it's an event, but we will find out together. The loss of the Mandalore, the Indomitable, has thrown the clans into disarray. The clan leaders see the only way out of this predicament is to expand from Mandalore to claim other worlds, starting with sending an exploration vessel south to re-establish communications with Onderon. So we're going to push very well, and that is added to the situation log. So do we have that in our situation log? Yes, we do. So colonies established. It wants us to go out and basically colonize different planets. So it's kind of giving you that little nudge, that kind of tutorial effect there to push you on and grab some more systems. We have a strategic resource which has been discovered. That's good. It's the exotic gases. So we have a lot more science ships out at the moment doing their thing. So we're just going to let them continue doing that.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
We have
system survey complete.
Some more things going on here, so let me just pause for a second. We have the abnormal conditions, which has been intriguing. It's a planet modifier appears on Concord Dawn. Okay, good stuff. Fleet limit, that is always a really good one. And I'm going to go for it. In this instance, system has been surveyed up there. So there's a planet which is going to be capable of supporting our life. So let's carry on surveying around there. You have grabbed all of this, so come up here now and get that. Okay, so what I can already appreciate about this mod is the pace of the early game. It's not rushing you. It's telling you in certain stories and events how to progress in the game if you're not familiar with it, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't really be doing. And, you know, the restrictions that are in place with the manpower and your limited alloys and unity really does make you kind of struggle to just snatch up as much land or as many systems as you would want to. And I think that's a good thing, because in the base game or other mods, you know, these things are rushed quite a lot, and it can just push you out of that early game a little bit earlier than you would want to be. So here is a routine anomaly, so let's get that researched. All right, guys, here comes another event. I'm not sure if I've seen this one. I think it might be unique, but it's called A Reason to Kill. So let's have a little read, shall we? As soon as the science team got within range of the shuttle, the crew opened fire on us. Although the engagement only lasted a few minutes, we will still have to make repairs of our own landing craft ship. Thankfully, there are plenty of parts laying around in the form of the attacker's shuttle. Our team discovered that they were so aggressive on first contact due to the spice that they tried to quickly stow away. We must have arrived on the planet just before a spice deal could have taken place. While we have no way to know where the spice was headed, at least we can make sure it doesn't end up in the wrong hands. No one will notice if some of the contraband goes missing for personal use, right? I think that's definitely a Star Wars event. No honor among the thieves. Definitely not. And this is going to give us a trait, and it's going to allow research speed to be increased by 5%. So, and gives us some spice. So happy days. I like that. More research here, guys. We've now got our energy credits. The research output now on the stations could be a good one, so I'm going to go with that. This is that the mural, so that's amazing. It's just going to give us some engineering and some research. Not a unique event.
Breakthrough achieved.
Another one here. Science ships now cost us a lot less, so that's good. Sublight speed could be a good one now, actually, just to get us around a little bit quicker. Let's get some surveying done. And up here. Awesome. So we did grab this one already. I already had some Unity. So unlocks the feature, the Mandalorian architecture. We're going to go with that. And let's see what comes of that. So we must begin rebuilding the Mandalorian fleet. The clan leaders have gathered their brightest scientific and military minds from across the clans to help this endeavor. Our neighbors are clearly seeking to expand their borders. It's time we begin to expand ours. So we got this little pop-up from clicking that tradition. So we understand that. It issues a special project, the ship crew training. Ship crew training is available here. Admiral's present has 12 military ships. So it's given us a little mission that we're going to need to do above Mandalore here is grab an admiral and have 12 military ships. So once that's done, we can start the ship crew training. So that's pretty cool. That gives you a bit of an objective and something to aim towards. So there's content. There's good content here, guys. Let's move down even further. See if we can meet somebody. All right, so we've just had a tutorial pop up, and it's put it in the situation log that it wants us to build a colony ship. So if we pop over to our situation log, there it is. So I'm not sure, I think you can probably turn that off, but just point that out that it is kind of Star Wars based. There's the Millennium Falcon, so maybe it's part of it, which again is a really great touch if you've never even played Stellaris. So big thumbs up for the mod developers there for thinking about completely new players that have no clue. So it will really guide you in this epic mod, guys. So yeah, it wants us to build a colony ship, so it's given us a mission for it. So we're definitely going to do that. And if you are new, then I will just show you how to do that right now. So let's go to our system and let's go to one of these green planets. Okay, the green planet means that we can settle quite happily, but the red ones is like, not really. You don't want to go near those yet, not until you get the technology to terraform it. But this one, no, let's do right next door. Let's do Concordia. That's a classic. Just hit the colonize button here and it will give you the option to colonize it. We don't have enough influence right now, but we will do in just a few minutes. Once we do, we will come back to that and then we will finish that. I think it only wants us to do one. Right, yeah, it does, yeah. So I like that touch.
Anomaly found.
Another anomaly, let's go ahead and research that. I could see myself playing this quite a while, you know. Look at the size of this galaxy again. Oh my word, look how big it is. I mean, you can flesh that right out, can't you? I think it is bigger than the standard New Horizons one for sure. But you're going to need, well, I'd say you'd need a pretty decent computer. But I'm not really sure. I guess you would. There is a smaller one which is around 600, I think, systems.
Found.
Let's do that anomaly. And that, you know, if you've got a bit of a clunky PC, then it will run that 600 one quite nicely, I am to believe. All right, so we have a Restless Planet event now. The surface of this planet is not quite what we expected. In theory, our people could live here, but the team experienced multiple storms, earthquakes, and other natural disasters while on the ground. The sheer amount of natural tectonic movements within the core of the planet puzzles Davril. Under normal circumstances, the tectonic activity displayed here would have caused the planet to collapse on itself. A science station for longer investigations of the planet could provide further information about that planet. And again, I like this because it's getting you used to getting a construction ship over there and building a one of those science stations above in orbit. Shaken and stirred, and it adds a +10 modifier to your engineering as well there. Alright, so we've had an event called Unexpected Detour. Our team's high spirits quickly dwindle when it becomes apparent that Obriar is completely unremarkable in every way. Due to the pilot's inability to stay awake on the job, our discovery of the rest of the system has been set back for a few days. Satine has taken full responsibility for the accident to high command, shielding the rest of the crew from future consequences. We can only hope the crew can move on and forget the accident sooner rather than later. And that, you know, all respect to the leader there, that's pretty good. Time heals all wounds, which is minusing our alloys, but increasing our discovery chance for anomalies. Okay, so having a look around,
System survey complete.
we've now got that system surveyed. Let's do that. We have leaders which have been upgraded. So this is quite similar to the base game, you know, in the way of all the hyperlanes and all the rest of it, which I do like because I like the choke points. I think that's a good touch. Let's have a look at... Oh, what was we going to do? We were going to look at the influence, wasn't we? We'll do that anomaly, but let's pop back here and let's colonize this planet while we can. There we go. We now have all the ingredients
System
here needed,
survey complete.
all the resources, and off they go. So what happens now?
Scientific
We have an archaeological
breakthrough
site, so we'll look at that in
achieved.
just a second. Let me pause it for a second. So what happens now is the starbase will automatically start building a colony ship, and it will then travel automatically to the planet over here, Concordia, and it will settle. Okay, it will settle that planet. So we have just debris. Let's have a little read on this, shall we? It is apparently not just a field of debris in the orbit, but rather the remains of a great battle. The science team can only assume these vessels rammed into each other at high speeds to create this particular debris pattern. Most likely we have stumbled on yet another atrocity previously forgotten during the Great Hyperspace War. The sheer level of destruction makes it clear that there is no technology to be found here. However, we should build a mining station in the area in order to be able to recycle the wreckage. Again, just pushing you nicely along to build the things you need to build in a campaign. And it also adds a lot of alloys. Well, it's going to add a chance of these types of alloys, +1, +2, or +3. So hopefully it's going to be a decent one for us. We have some research. We have the station output there. The droid or the power core? Let's go with the droids. Archaeological site. So let's have a look, see where that is. So it's nice that they have these in the mod. Yeah, you are serving anyway, so you would want to, we want to get over there, don't we, and grab that system and then snag that archaeological site. Good things can come from that. Right, let's continue down that way. We have grabbed this system here, so that's good. What do we have? Let me see.
System survey complete.
Remarkable. We have discovered
everything's looking
spacefaring
okay up there.
entities that may or may not be intelligent.
Alright, what is
But
going on
let's
now?
face
News of
it,
alien ships
probably
coming
are.
through
Their true
the
nature
sector
will remain
has
a
reached
mystery to
Mandalore.
us until we complete
We
the
have an
appropriate
encounter.
project
Alright,
to
so this is our
investigate
first proper
I suggest we do so
encounter.
post-haste,
So first
lest they
contact,
investigate
let's
us
put one of
first.
our envoys inside there to meet them. Situation log updated. Let's have a look and see what it wants us to do here. It probably wants us to make first contact. Yeah, it does. So again, it's given us a little bit of a push to make first contact, which we have done. We've put an envoy, one of our two, inside that that kind of situation there. Where is it? Here. The first contact event here, we've put one in there, and it's going to do its thing and meet a new empire. I wonder who that's going to be. Interesting. So let's go this way for now. And this construction ship, I could probably start picking up. We've got enough planets to do the expanding our empire, I think. Another 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and we got one down there. So I'm going to just grab the energy here using some of our manpower, but we're doing okay. In fact, I'm going to shift click and grab all of that. That'll be good. Oh, and down here. After we've done that, we'll probably expand a little bit more. Now the fleet, can we add to the fleet? We can. Got loads of alloys here, so let's do that. That we use them all. That's probably a bit of a mistake because we're still expanding. Well, we're not. We're going to get some resources, so we're okay for now. We can use the alloys because we're going to gain some more anyway. When you're moving at fast speed, you do get quite a lot of resources. So let's zoom out, have a little look. So the first contact's coming from this way,
System
to the east.
survey complete.
Let's do that one then. So we have seen a few unique events, and they will grow into fully fledged stories, guys. Honestly, I've read some really good things about this mod, and so far so good. Performance wise, it's running really smooth. I'm really enjoying how it's running right now, no problems. And this is definitely going to be a unique one, surely. Yeah, and it's called the Outcast. So curiously, Satine only met one very friendly scientist inside the facility. He tells us that he was sent into exile after half his team lost their lives in a mishap while experimenting on personal energy shield technology. He further claims that he was able to complete the research and has even extended its application into the medical realm. To do this, he studied a previously unknown species he calls the Anzati, which reportedly seem to have extremely long lifespans. Even though our team suspects that this man has lost his mind due to prolonged isolation, the shield device he created works on short intervals. If this technology was more standardized in its design, it might even be able to be equipped to our ground troops. After a long negotiation, the man is willing to make a deal for a patent. Wow. What's it going to cost us? It's going to give us anomaly research speed, and it's going to cost us only a measly 200 energy. So for that, I think we've got to buy it. That's going to be quite cool to have our Mandalorians have shields. That would be really good. Even if it is temporary, it would really, really help out. So are you finished there? We're going to want to come up and grab this one, actually. So let's go over here. Oh, you're already done there. Let's go this way. Survey there.
System survey
Tell you what, go over
complete.
here and grab that.
The conquest of a new world has begun.
Right, the first Mandalorian colony. Our colony ship has just found a rare patch of open ground in the jungles of Concordia and made planetfall. The landing site is surrounded on all sides by lush vegetation, and sentry drones have been deployed to guard against predators. Oh, that's cool. The ship has been permanently converted into an administrative headquarters of the new settlement, and its reactor core is the process of being removed so that it may serve as the colony's temporary power source. Hundreds of small tents and prefab shelters have sprung up among the former starship's massive hull as colonists begin to disembark in large numbers. The first Mandalorian city on an alien world. A great day for Mandalorian space. I love that. Great touch for that to come up after your first planet that you have colonized. So there we go. So, well, it's about to be colonized, should I say. The colony ship has made it to the planet, to Concordia, and it's now doing what it just said that we read out, and it's going to take this long here before we establish that planet and be able to use it like we can here. I'm probably going to get some more alloys because I'm really
Anomaly found.
struggling with those, if I'm honest. Can we get? We can. Alloy foundries turns minerals into alloys. I can live with that. So the purpose of this playthrough, let's do it. So this is the same as the base game. So let's send a science ship that way in just a mo, but let's go and grab that system for now. What are you doing? You're already locked in one. Okay, the gigantic skeleton. This is definitely a classic from the base game. We're going to click fascinating for that. And we have a tradition available. Let us go for the Mandalorian warships. Absolutely. No pop-up for that one. You're all the way down there. What are you doing? Okay, you're just next door, so pop over here and just activate that site.
Complete.
Weapons configuration finished. Okay, so I did pop up into the situation log, and there was one here that needed to be done, and it was the weapon configuration test here. Our fleets have completed their weapon testing. The recent upgrades and internal structural changes to our ships have increased their combat efficiency. May our enemies know the strength of the newly improved Mandalorian fleets. Victory awaits us. It gives us quite a lot of engineering research, so that's good. And engineering research is where we're going to get all our new ships and things like that. So we've already had a look at the ships anyway, well, the end game ones. I'm not sure what you get in between. I just kind of skipped
Scientific
to research all
breakthrough achieved.
technologies, and they're the ones that we have. So there probably are just those ones for
Construction
now,
complete.
but I might be mistaken. Right, so we have some more research here. Shield types. Yeah, we'll go with that. Our fleet is growing. That's good.
Scientific breakthrough
Construction ship.
achieved.
You can just grab the mining stations there and over here for a minute. What can we get here?
System
Let's go for the
survey
engineering
complete.
research. You've done there. You can research the
Anomaly
project there.
found.
Do that. So how are we looking? How is our territory looking? It's looking pretty good, I think. Mandalorian has given us a little bit more now in terms of alloys, but we would love to get this done here. We really want this. In fact, we want some more planets, don't we? So maybe let's try and settle most of our system here. This is a first contact, so we'll look at that in just a second. Let's go to colonize. So we are missing some influence, and we're missing some of this consumer goods up here. So we can deal with that in just a second. What's this? An unexpected message. Right, so it's attempted to decipher the strange markings on the planet. A message came in from the capital. Our team is needed on the homeworld to help train the next generation of the reconnaissance units. Okay, so we're going to get a nice little situation log here. Little help is available. So go to that. Let's have a look. So that's back on Mandalore. We need to basically send a science ship over there at some point. We don't have it as a timer, so that can wait. First contact, how naive of them. As you can see, the race that we'll be meeting is right here. It kind of gives you a clue by showing you the picture of them. If you don't know the name of them, then you will find that out soon. But if you do already, then you'll kind of know already. It's pretty good. Keep digging. This is our archaeological sites. Awesome. Keep going on that. And now what I want to do is buy some of this stuff. So the amount to buy 500. Let's just buy quite a lot. 1500. We do need the influence though before we can do some more colonizing. So this is about minor artifacts. Okay, we know about those. It will become clear eventually. Keep going. We're going to meet them any minute now. Any second now we're going to meet them.
Special project
completed. Incredible. So after continued studies of the massive skeletal remains, this is the skeletal one. That's incredible. That's going to give us some modifiers. That's fine. Science ship. You could come back here to Mandalore now and research that one as you're free. That's fine. Let's reinforce the fleet. Probably give you an admiral now, actually. Leader experience gain. Habitable worlds. Yep. Let's go with...
complete.
Let's just go with the cheap one for a minute. Keep reinforcing.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
So here they are. Here's our little ships. Our little fleet is growing. Looking pretty cool. Right, a few technologies here to do. So let's do some resettlement cost.
Complete.
And Empire Starship fuel production. So that's going to be another good thing, guys. All the fuel that we got going on here. Starship fuel. I guess that might be like the dilithium in Star Trek New Horizons. Not sure. You carry on down this way. And you are done picking up some of the resources. So why don't you come across here and grab that one and that one. Again, be mindful about your manpower. Yeah, so far, first impressions then, guys, I think it is good. I think it's smooth. I think there's decent amount of events and unique ones based on the Mandalorians. I think there's going to be a lot of decent Star Wars events is what I'm trying to say. The ships and all, they look really good. We've seen those. And, you know, it plays well. I think you're going to really, really enjoy it if you haven't played it already. And here we are. So we have the Verpine Hive Society. Is that how you pronounce it? I guess, the Verpine. And of course they are another Star Wars empire. with a decent little background picture here. It gives you a little bit of information about who they are, what they're up to, and we can now give them the first sentence. And I think that I'm going to be on the fence with pretty much everyone. I think that's what the Mandalorians are like anyway, really, aren't they? They're on the fence. You know, they could be good, they could be bad. So you will embrace the greater good eventually. You know, it's not as nice as, you know, as fellow Star Explorers, we salute you, or it's not as bad as we shall probably greet you in battle. So we're going to go with the middle ones. First alien encounter just tells you a little bit about that, and that it changes everything on Mandalore. And we then get our envoy back to do that with someone else again. So that did sort that out in the situation log. We do have quite a lot of things to do there. Alright guys, so I think that we're going to call that one there. And I hope that it's given you good insight and good information into what this mod is about. I hope you like it, I really do, and I think you should give it a go. I think you should download it and really give it a go. It looks like they're really active, the developers. They are constantly updating it. Anyway, since its release, it's had a few updates. And again, I think it runs really super smooth, and it's definitely worth diving into and having a look. So I'm going to pop it into observe mode so we can have a look at this galaxy from afar with all of the different empires in it. Okay, so this is now in observe mode, and as you can see, there are quite a few different empires here. Now in the settings, you could probably up this if you want to. I'm pretty certain you can. And look how close we were. I mean, we met these guys and they are now bordering us. So that was interesting. We have some over here as well. The Terrace Civil Authority.
The situation log
we can't really look into them on observer mode, but we can just kind of hover over and see who we had around here and there.
Points of interest.
So you can see them all around. Don't show again, we'll turn that one off. So yeah, so it would have been a pretty epic campaign if you ask me. But if you would like to see me do a campaign, then do let me know, and let me know the empire you would like to see as well. If it is the Mandalorians, a proper one, then we do that. I did use a few different command prompts here and there to, you know, to help us along the way, especially with the Unity at the beginning, because like I said, it's really scarce. You're not going to get as many scientists as I did out in this episode, you know, if you didn't use that command prompt. But let me know if you would like to take on maybe a Grand Admiral playthrough as an empire of your choice. Maybe I'll put a poll up to see if you would like to see the mod played as a playthrough, and then we will pick our factions and we'll narrow them down in a poll. How would you like that? Anyway guys, I hope you did enjoy this kind of first look, for me anyway, at the mod. If you did, then please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. It means a lot to me, and I will see you guys in the next Cornish Ratbeard episode. Take care, bye bye for now.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.